School is out, which means teens are bound to be spending, let's just face it, a lot more time on their devices. It's reality. Your first instinct might be to spy or force them to keep the door open. But one child psychologist, says parents are missing an opportunity to teach kids independence. Dr. Louise Lockhart joining me to share her view on the always present cell phone battle and the question at the heart of it: do teens deserve privacy? Hi, Dr. Lockhart. How are you?
Hi, Brooke. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me again.
Thanks for being here. You're stepping in it and you're not afraid of it, right? This is a debate that gets parents really fired up. Why do you think it's important, Dr. Lockhart, for teens to gain independence through their cell phone?
Well, because independence and privacy is a part of growing up. And so helping them to gain that independence so they could learn to trust their gut and their intuition, for them to develop autonomy, which is self-directing their own behavior, as well as establishing their own individuality. So knowing what their interests are, what their passions are, who their friends are, and how they want to stay in touch with them. So I think that's why it's important.
So if I were to ask you outright, should I be monitoring my teenagers' social media use? What would you say?
I would say absolutely. I think you should still be aware of their online presence and why they're drawn to certain apps and certain things on their device, and have a discussion with them about it, but not to do it in a sneaky way, but do it in a collaborative way.
All right, I'm not snooping, I'm not spying, but I'm part of the conversation with them. You've got some other points of advice to help kind of strike that balance, right? Be an engaged parent, be aware, but also give them that independence that you talked so eloquently about. You said open dialogue is key, and you should also get to know your children's friends and their friends' parents too.
Yes, absolutely. There's a lot of different research that talks about teens whose parents know their friends, and their friends' parents will make better decisions because now you know the values, the talks, all of those things that are going on. So yes, I think knowing your teens' friends' parents is also important.
I think that's wise. It's kind of a next step, that next layer. We know the friends, let's get to know their parents too, so it becomes all part of the same social ecosystem. I have to tell you, I have a handful of friends who are in this phase, this teenage phase, and I'm super impressed with how they're trying to engage. That might mean doing the TikTok dance. That might mean learning the video game. But that's part of your advice as well, as to get interested in what they're interested in.
Absolutely. When I do my reels on Instagram, I involve my preteens in the process. I say, hey, did I get the lip sync down? Like, what does that look like? And they'll give me advice and everything. So joining with them and having them join you, I think, is a great way to show that you're interested and you're connected to them.
I mean, it makes sense. If they're going to talk to you about the lipstick shade you're wearing on your reel, for example, they might be more inclined to come to you about another reel-related question or TikTok-related question. Talk to me a little bit more, if you will, about that balance between privacy and supervision. Help us strike that in a realistic way.
Yes, I think parents think that giving privacy means total isolation, or that you're not fully connected, and that's not privacy. That's something completely different. We don't want to be permissive in the privacy we're giving. We want to balance that. So we want to be able to provide them that, hey, we trust you. I want to trust you even in this regard, but I also want to provide appropriate supervision where we're not micromanaging everything. So that way, that's why that balance is so important, and that's why that open communication is so important.
So with that, Dr. Lockhart, am I setting all the rules, or am I looping my child into that decision-making process too?
No, I really believe in doing it collaboratively. So talking with them about, hey, what are your expectations? Here are my expectations. Let's have a discussion about it. So if they think, well, I don't think I should have any, stop time or start time, I should just get on my devices when I want to, and you might think differently, I think you should have that discussion about what is it that they're wanting. Are they wanting more freedom, more fun, more connection, more entertainment? But having that discussion is going to go a long way.
Any other phrases or things we can say or reach for to encourage that collaboration, right? So that the topic of cell phones don't come up and they immediately shut down. What can we say, or how can we react to their comments and conversations to keep that collaboration open?
Yeah, I think if you can point it out, say, I notice that every time we talk about this topic about cell phone and social media and apps, that you tend to shut down and I tend to blow up, for example. I'd like for it to go differently. Let's talk about how we can do this differently. I would like this. What would you like out of this conversation? What do you want from me as we have this conversation? What do you see your friends doing that you wished you could do? So I think if you can really engage them in that dialogue and point out what you notice, I think that goes a long way.
It's so easy to demonize cell phones or technology, isn't it? Like we're just barely with my 7-year-old entering the YouTube Kids, arena, and she's trying to navigate what videos she can watch and how long she can watch them. And I find myself trying not to demonize the phone, make it this evil creature, right, that I'm fighting against. Is that part of it? Just embracing technology, knowing that this is their outlet, this is their thing?
Absolutely. Every generation has their demon. I mean, when newspapers and reading materials came out, people said, oh, that's the downfall of our society, right? Like every phase, when I was, in the 80s, we were talking about TV and TV is a downfall. Like every phase is going to be, but technology is here to stay and it's moving quickly. And our kids and our teens are on it. So we have to be collaborative with them. And we have to know that it's okay to have appropriate limits and boundaries, but we need to have that discussion with them.
We've got a quick 30 seconds, and I don't mean to keep pushing this point, but is it appropriate to check my child's DM? Do I have the passwords? Am I in their inbox? I mean, how far can I go?
I think initially, yes. I think you have some oversight so that you can make sure that you're monitoring and you let them know that, though. And then as you go, that they can build up that responsibility, that decision-making, that independence, and then you loosen up the reins a little bit.
Okay, great advice. Thanks for your straightforward approach. Where can we see those reels you were talking about?
They can follow me on Instagram at dr.annlouise.lockhart and then go to my website at anewdaysa.com.
You're putting great advice out there, and we need it. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.